Hello everyone, welcome back to 2018 Granny Square Crochet Along. Today, as part of our foodie week, we have this buttered waffle square. So we are going to make our waffle for the centre, and then we're going to make the frame, and then we're going to make our piece of butter. And this piece of butter, you'll have the choice of whether you roll it like a little curl of butter, or whether you fold it like a little piece, a little slice of butter. So you will need a colour for your waffle, a colour for your butter, and a colour for your frame. Or of course you could just do it all in one colour. Entirely up to you. If you just want to make it a waffle square rather than a food square, then just don't do the piece of butter. Let's get started. Okay, so to start your waffle part of the square, you need to chain 17. Chain 17, and then you are going to do a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those first 3 chains will count as your first double crochet. So this now counts as having 2 double crochets. And then you're going to do a double crochet in every chain along. And you'll finish with 15 double crochets, 15 stitches, including your chain. So there we have 15 double crochets. Now for our next round, we're going to, or next row, sorry, we're going to chain 1. But this, for this pattern, you need to chain a larger, longer chain than usual. Okay, this won't count as anything, but you just need it to be a little bit longer than usual, so that we can then, in the very first stitch, do a double crochet. Now you might be familiar with the turning chain for a double crochet being 3, and then your first chain 3 would count as your first double crochet. But just to make this a bit more solid and a bit more sort of not stand out as much as having that chain 3, we're just doing this larger chain and then straight onto a double crochet. It just gives it a different finish. So we've done a double crochet in the first double crochet, and then we're going to do a front post double crochet around the next. So yarn over, and then insert your hook from front to back, and then back to front. So basically you're going behind this stitch and bringing this post of the stitch to the front. If you've followed us through the year, or even for just a month, it's most likely you'll have done front post double crochets by now. So then along the row we are going to do a double crochet in the next stitch, and in the next stitch a double crochet, so 2 double crochets, and then a front post double crochet around the next stitch. This is your simple repeating pattern. So 2 double crochets along, and a front post double crochet around the next stitch. Oops. 2 double crochets, it's 1 in each stitch, and then a front post double crochet around the next stitch. 2 double crochet, front post double around the next stitch, and then a double crochet in the top of the last stitch, which will actually be your first chain 3 from that first row. So just find the top of that chain 3 and do your double crochet in that chain. There we go. So you should have, as before, you should have 15 stitches, and you will have 15 stitches on every row of this pattern. So for row 3, you're going to once again make a chain, but a slightly longer chain than usual, and then you're going to make a double crochet in the first 2 stitches. So 1 and 2, and then you're going to do a front post double crochet around each of the next 2 stitches. So 1 and then another front post, and then 1 double crochet in the next stitch. So this is kind of the reverse of the previous row. The previous row you did 2 double crochets and 1 front post. This time you're doing 2 front posts and 1 double crochet. And this is what gives us that beautiful waffle design. So 2 front posts, 1 and 2, and 1 double crochet. Oops. 2 front posts, double crochets. Apologise for sometimes abbreviating and saying just front post. It's the way I kind of remind myself what I'm doing. Okay, so then 1 double crochet in the next, and then 2 front post double crochets. 1 and 2. And then double crochet in the next stitch, and then in the last stitch a double crochet. Let's find that stitch. Make sure you go into the stitch and not that starting or turning chain. Make sure you go into the stitch itself. So there we go. So the back of your work will have a lot of just these double crochets going on. A nice bit of texture, but not so much the waffle. But when we turn over in just a moment, it will be more waffle-like. So row 4. This is where we're going to repeat those last 2 rows. So bear with me one moment while I just bring up that chart. First row. Okay, so we're going to just repeat these 2 rows that we've just done. So chain 1, that long chain, turn your work. So now this is the front, and you can see how this waffle pattern is working up quite nicely. You can see these lines here down the front and going across the top. So you're going to repeat by doing your 1 double crochet in the first stitch, and then a front post double crochet, and then your repeat of 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, and a front post double crochet. So all the way along, 2 double crochet, 1 front post double crochet, and you'll be finishing with a front post and then a double crochet. 2 double crochet, 1 front post double crochet. Okay, here we go. You can see that waffle working up quite nicely now. So then your second repeat row is to chain 1 and then double crochet in the first 2 stitches. 1, 2, and then a front post around the next. 2, sorry, a front post around the next 2. That 2 double crochet was only for the start of the row. So you've done 2 front posts and then 1 double crochet, 2 front post double crochets, and 1 double crochet. Okay, repeat that along, 2 front posts and 1 double crochet, and you'll be finishing with a double crochet in your last stitch. Okay, so once again, you've got this really nice texture going on the back, and then on the other side, you've got this lovely waffle building up. To your next row, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and do a double crochet in that very first stitch. And then a front post double crochet around the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets, and then a front post double crochet and 2 double crochets. Repeat this all the way to the end. 1 front post, 2 double crochet, 1 front post, 2 double crochet, finishing with a front post and then a double crochet in the last stitch. Okay, here we go, building up nicely. Next row, chain 1, turn your work, double crochet in the first 2 stitches, and then front post double crochet around 2 stitches, and then 1 double crochet. And that's your repeat for this row. 2 front post, 1 double, 2 front post, 1 double. And on that row, you're finishing how you started with 2 double crochet, not just 1. So 2 at the start, 2 at the finish. Okay, and then it's time for one last row. So we're going to do the opposite row, so chain 1, turn your work, 1 double crochet, front post double crochet around the next, and then 2 double crochet along. Front post double crochet, 2 double crochet, all the way to the end, finishing with a front post and a double crochet. See you soon. So there is your waffle part finished. You should have what is basically a 4 square by 4 square waffle. So that is your waffle part finished. So fasten off that, cut your yarn, and that's that bit done. Okay, so to start our frame or border, we are going to do a slip stitch with our new colour into this very first double crochet in the top corner. So in this top corner, you're going to do a slip stitch of your new colour, or the same colour if you choose to do the same colour. Just rejoin it there, and then you are going to chain 4. This chain 4 counts as a double crochet and a chain 1, and then you are going to skip your next stitch. Your next stitch will be this first front post double crochet, so skip that first stitch and then do a double crochet in the next stitch, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip a stitch, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, chain one, skip one, double crochet in the next, chain one, skip one, and then double crochet in the next, which will be your very last stitch of the row. So for your corner, which this will be, we should have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stitches along there. So this first one and your last one will be for your corners, and then you've got 6 stitches along the middle. So for this corner, it's pretty much what we've just been doing. You're just going to do a chain one and then a double crochet. So you've got double crochet, chain one, double crochet for your corner. And then you're going to chain one, and then you're going to work down this side, and you're going to work over the side of your stitches, and you need to make 6 stitches evenly along the side. So because if you look here, we've got 6 in this middle part. Okay, so these 6 here. So don't count the very last stitch at the bottom here. And as I've suggested before, when you need to work in the sides and evenly space, you can sort of fold it in half, find the center point, which is about there, so just below this ridge here, and then then you know you've got to do 3 in this part and 3 in this part. Okay, so do 6 down there, and then when you get to your bottom stitch, you're going to do double crochet, chain one, double crochet. So along here, double crochet, chain one, double crochet, chain one, until you've got 6, and then your corner, and then you're going to work exactly the same along the bottom, double crochet, chain one, double crochet, do the same in your corner, and then when you work up along this second side, try and match where your stitches are this side. So if you've got a stitch here, you're going to do a stitch here. If you've got a stitch here, you're going to do one there. So try and match them up as close as you can. And I'll see you back around here, and we'll do this last corner together. And when you get back to this top corner, you're going to do a double crochet in the same stitch as your first chain, and do a double crochet, chain one, and then slip stitch to the 3rd chain up. 1, 2, 3. Leaving 1 chain there as your chain space. And there we go. There's the start of our outside. Looking good. Okay, so for our next round, we are going to slip stitch over into our chain space. And then we're going to do a chain 3 for our first double crochet, and do a double crochet in that same chain space. And then you're going to move to the next chain space and do 2 double crochet, and you're going to repeat this all the way along, 2 double crochet in each chain space. I'll just do this first row with you. Let's just checking the pattern there. Okay, so 2 in each space. Okay, 2 in each space. So that should be 14 along there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Okay, and then in your corner, you are going to now do a chain 1, double crochet into this chain 1 space in the corner, chain 1, double crochet, and then a chain 1 to come out of the corner. So you're going to repeat that all the way along this next side, doing 2 double crochet in each chain space, and then after your last 2 double crochet, do a chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1 for your corner, and then again 2 in every space, and then your corner, and then 2 double crochet in every space along. And when you come back around to the beginning, you're going to do your corner, finish your chain 1, and then slip stitch into the top of your first chain 3. I'll see you back around at the beginning. And here we go at the end of our second round of frame. How good does that look? I really like these 2 colours together. Okay, so when you've done that, it's time to get some more yarn before it starts to tell me that it's running out. Okay, so we're going to do a chain 2. Now, if your square isn't quite big enough, you can do a double crochet round. If it's already quite big, you can do a single crochet round. Or if it's almost there, needs a bit more than a single crochet, but not as much as a double, we're going to do a half double crochet, and that's what's in the pattern. That's how I designed this to be. So I did do quite a bit of measuring when I was making it up. So chain 2 for your first half double crochet, and then you're going to do a half double crochet in every stitch. Every stitch, half double crochet. So work all the way along, 1 in every stitch. Until we get to our first chain 1 space. We're nearly there. You're probably there waiting for me already. Okay, in your chain 1 space, you're going to do 2 double crochet. So that's before and after every corner, you're going to do 2. So then 1 in your corner stitch, and then in this actual corner space, you are going to do a half double crochet, chain 1, and a half double crochet. So then 1 half double crochet in the next stitch, and then in this chain space you're going to do 2 half double crochet, and you're going to work around in exactly the same way. Do 1 half double crochet in every stitch along, 2 in your chain space, and then in your corner chain space you're going to do half double crochet, chain 1, and a half double crochet all the way around. And when you get back to the beginning, do a slip stitch in the top of your chain 2. And here we go. Looking good, looking good. So all we need now to finish our square off is our piece of butter to pop on top here, so it looks like it's a food square and not just a lovely waffle stitch. So you need something the colour of butter, if that's what you're choosing to do. So I've got this sort of light yellow here. Pop that square aside, and what you're going to do is, how many stitches was it? Let me find. Okay, so we are going to chain 5. Cute little piece to work up. And then you are going to do a single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and in each stitch along, so you'll have 4 single crochets. I know this is tiny, but it's going on our small little waffle. So there we go, 4 little single crochets, and then all you're going to do is chain 1, turn your work, and then do a single crochet in each stitch back along. So 1, 2, 3, and this funny bit at the end is your last stitch. So just look over the top if you need to find those 2 bars of your stitch, and there you go, there's your last stitch. So that's row 2. Chain 1, turn, do row 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So you can have 8 rows altogether of 4 single crochets on each. And I'll see you when you have done those last 6 rows. So when you have done 8 rows, this is what your little piece of butter should look like. So you now have a couple of choices of how you want to sew it on. You could leave it as it is, as this big slice of butter. It's a reasonable size, you might want to leave it like that. Or you can do a butter curl like I have on this one here. So a nice posh butter curl. You see that there? There we go. Or you can do a slice of butter and have it on there like so. A slice of butter. So, or a chunk of butter, a pat of butter. Is that the saying? A pat of butter. Okay, so let me show you how to do this. When you fasten off, you want to leave a nice long tail. I've probably got about 12 or 18 inches here, just so there's enough to sew with. And you will need a needle that will fit your yarn through. So to do a butter curl, let me show you that one. Let's thread my needle. So to do a butter curl, what you want to do is take your work and just roll it around on itself like so. Okay, and obviously you can do a really tight curl and leave some, or you can do a really big curl like so and not leave much showing. Up to you. This is your square, however you like to do it. So what you want to do is you've got your yarn here. I'm doing it from the wrong end. You want, where you've got your yarn in your needle, you want to go from that end, using the wrong end there. Roll it around, and then so your yarn's coming out here. You want to take your needle and pop it through here, go through that first layer and then through the back layer. Come out on the back there, you see that? And then you're going to come out on the back, and then you're going to go back in and just through that top, that inside layer. Don't go through the very top, just come bring your needle through the side like so, and then you can pop your needle back in and go through one layer. You can see it there, going through one layer and then through to the back. No one's going to see this bit of stitching, doesn't matter how neat or how rough. So just sew that loosely, so it's just curled there and not going to come uncurled. And then you just want to pop it on your waffle wherever you fancy, and then just go through and sew it onto your waffle. The other way, I'm just going to undo this for a second. So the other way you can do this is you can have it as a nice chunk of butter, or pat of butter. I think a pat of butter is the technical term for a piece of butter. So you can sew in this end here if you like, or you can just hide it in the middle. Just hide it in there, fold it in half. So all that first tail end is in there, and then just fold this in half. You could sew it in properly if you prefer, weave that end in, if this bothers you, hiding it like so. Okay, so fold it in half, and then I would just do a couple of stitches here to secure. So just go through and do a couple of stitches just to keep it together, and then pop it onto your waffle. So probably pop it there, nearer to the middle maybe. And then what you want to do is just go through to the back of your for your waffle, and through, and then come back through. Keep as close as you can to where you've come out, and then you won't have as much sewing showing. Come through your butter, it doesn't matter where you come through, and then just go to the end and back through your work, and just sew that on, just keeping close to where you've come out and gone in, just to keep these colours on the back to the minimum if you want to keep your back nice and tidy. Make sure you're sewing up these sides that are open. Keep tucking those ends in if they want to pop out. And just sew along your side. Don't pull down too tightly or it will make your butter a bit flat. So just pull that through. Oh, these have got stuck. There we go. Pull that through and then just go back up like so through your work. Oops. Just keeping quite close on the back to keep it neat. You can see that you can't see much of those yellow pieces on the back. You might have wanted to sew these other pieces in first. We'll just keep them out of the way. So just sew that on, and yeah, there we go. Sew the rest of your ends in, and you have yourself a buttered waffle. Waffle with butter. Are these food squares making you hungry? Are we tempting you to go and buy waffles and cookies? Every square that I do makes me fancy the thing that I'm making. So sew that on. I'm just going to finish that right now and then I'll show you when I'm done. And there you go, all sewn on, all my ends are sewn in, and you can see that there's not much on the back of that butter colour at all, so you can make it nice and discreet if you want to. So there we go, the buttered waffle square. If you have found this video useful and helpful, and you've enjoyed crocheting along with me, then please, you know what to do, click that like button and give me a thumbs up, and come show me your photos in the Facebook group. The description is in the link below. The link is in the description box below. Oh gosh, must be time for a cup of tea. Okay, so if you've if you've had fun, then please, leave a like, leave a comment, and on all that, as you usually do. And until next time, just keep hooking. Don't let your tea get cold.